Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, go on and hit that like and subscribe button and leave a comment for anything else you would like to see me do or anything else you would like to see me talk about. It's hot out here and it was hot down in Florida for ICAST. So I'm going to talk about some of these baits that was going on. I got to meet some good people. I got to meet a lot of veterans and companies that are looking to work with veterans, which is a darn good thing. So first off, we're going to talk about Thunderhawk. Thunderhawk was a company that is more veteran owned, more veteran workers, and the cool thing about it is I got to hear a story about one of the guys at Thunderhawk. His son came up and he designed a frog, which I will be getting and I will talk about, you know what I'm saying, at another time. But one of the first things that I learned about was the grunt. Now the grunt is a jig, you know what I'm saying, it's a different material of the skirt that is used. Everything is hand tied, but the skirt is a different material, which is not what you would normally see on the market. And it makes the skirt flutter a whole lot more, especially when you're tied with the new craw. You know, the craw, the salt content in it is a whole lot different than what most people use. I got to see it in action, and man, does that thing impart action like I've never seen before. Paired up with the jig, when it hits bottom, it makes it stand straight up, kind of like a net rig. It kind of stands up like a net rig, even though you're not really working it. But when you do work it, it is so much secondary action that happens with this bait. These two. Next we came up with was the Sergeant. Now the Sergeant is a rattle trap, but the cool thing about it is once you are working the rattle trap, or if you're yo-yoing it, these bugs, but if you're yo-yoing a rattle trap, most of the time they're either going to lay on the sides, but looking on the video with this will actually nose down. You know what I'm saying? When you stop reeling it or you stop hopping it, it actually sits nose down, you know, like it's feeding, which is a pretty cool thing, and I like that about it. Then we have more of a wake bait, and it's something that I never thought I was going to be trying on the channel, but I'm going to give it a try. But it's called the Rat Benny, and it's a wake bait rat that, I mean, some people have already used the rat on their channel and they fish with it, and I'm pretty excited about it. There's not much I could say about it, except the tail is the one that gives most of the action, and it's basically a wake bait, but we're going to see how this thing goes. Those guys at Thunderhawk and I sat down and we talked about, you know what I'm saying, our military days and some of the things that happened, PTSD and so forth. But I got to talk to the son, and like I said, he built the frog. He made that frog because of his dad. You know, his dad, you know what I'm saying, served over in the desert, and he deployed, and in honor of his dad deploying, he created that frog for him, you know, in honor of his dad, which I thought that was a very special thing.
My name is Mikey Schumacher at ICAST2023. I'm at the Thunderhawk booth right now, and I'm going to be talking about the DRT. The DRT is a frog that I just came up with. I designed it in my garage last year. It took me a year to come up with this, but some special specs on this frog that I made was the little bumps up here on it. When you're pulling a frog through the pads, it tends to get snagged a lot, and so I designed this so that the lily pads will just brush right over that. You won't get snagged as easy. And unlike any other frogs that I've seen, this frog has its own rattles in it. It comes with it, so you don't have to put your own rattles in it and weigh it down wrong so it sinks and that kind of stuff. And it's got little ribs on the bottom of it, which helps guide it when you're walking. And that can be really key if you're slacklining or just walking it. So, and it also, another thing about it is it's made not to take on water. That little hole, it's kind of plugged up there, and so that won't take on water like other frogs will, and it won't slide up your line. So when you catch a fish, you don't have to worry about pumping all the water out. You can just get right back to fishing. I started fishing at, or I started frog fishing at 7 years old with a bait caster for the first time. One of my good buddies, Jeremiah Hine, a local tournament angler, he took me out for the first time when I was 7.5 years old. And from then on, I've been obsessed with frog fishing. And he's actually here right now. You guys come stop by the ICAST booth. Yeah.
The next one we're going to cut over to Cast King. Cast King has a few products that are on the market, which they're a very affordable company that you guys should check out. So let's go over that way.
What's going on, guys? Nikki here with Cast King. Let me show you guys something really crazy, something that's going to blow your mind. So Cast King just unveiled at ICAST the iReel. We have two versions. Right here we have the IFC, which means it's the Intelligent Frequency Control. There is a computer chip now in the reel. Now on this side we have the IFC. Over here we have the AMB. So we have one that's automatic braking system that doesn't have the IFC chip, and we have one that is the IFC chip. And what it's going to do is it's going to connect to an app now on your phone. You're going to download the app, and it's going to feed you all the information that's going to help you become a better angler. So you're going to cast out there. It's going to tell you how many casts you took. It's going to tell you your max distance. It's going to tell you the weather. It's going to map out and show you where you are on the water. If you caught a fish in a certain spot, you're going to have it in the water. You'll be able to save that spot like we're waiting for you. So how cool is that? So all that information feeds back into this reel and then into your phone. And then not only that, now we have smart sunglasses, which are right here. Smart sunglasses right here. And now these smart sunglasses, you put them on and you can listen to music through the glasses, through your ears. You can pick up your phone through the sunglasses. There's no more picking up your phone and answering. You just click it and it'll answer it through your sunglasses. And it's also going to connect to the reel and feed information into your glasses. So you can hear what you're doing. You're casting how far, how many casts you're taking. Intelligent, guys. It's the future.
Now, with that, which is cool because of the reel, the glasses, you know what I'm saying, which is pretty fire, and I actually like those two, so I might be getting into them. That way I can listen to music while I freaking fish and talk to y'all. That way I have more stuff going on and it's easier for me to talk to y'all instead of me sitting here, you know, casting and winding. At least I got some other interaction going on with me, which make it a little easier for me. But next, we're gonna go with Nomad Design. Now, that's a company that I've not too really heard of. I'm not too much heard of, and from what I've seen, they mostly do top water lures, but you know what I'm saying, they actually come into their own with freshwater. So I'm gonna let them talk about a few baits that they have and a few baits that I have not talked about.
Right. So Greg, we got the Power Trio here. I want you to kind of talk us through, I guess, how you're using these baits in different situations. We've obviously got three very different baits here, and just for people watching this that might not understand what's the difference between them and where do you use each one. I mean, obviously kind of designed all these, but you're out there using them every day. So yeah, I want to get your take on where you use them, how you use them, and kind of what are they?
Definitely, that's the cool side about this bass fishing thing, guys. You know, if you guys are watching, you guys are bass fishing people. You know, we want to give you guys more options to catch more fish.
Yep.
First off, too, if you guys are also veterans of this channel, we want to thank you guys personally for all you guys did for us.
Absolutely, thank you.
That's real, man. That's awesome. So the Power Trio is a lipless style of 3 different baits that not only are a bait now that you can throw in cold water. We gave you guys options to basically take this lipless style bait and throw it all season long. So we're going to start out with the Swim Tricks. It's one of 3 of the trio. This was the original one that kind of everything was built around.
Yeah, really, it was. Yeah, that was the first, the first one that came along, and thought it had something pretty different there with the whole swimming action on the fall and everything, and then the other ones came after that. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Wrecker Swim Tricks, what's so unique about this one? It's the first real technique-specific lipless bait ever invented in the market. Honestly,
Yeah, it really
there's nothing else that's like it. So when does this one shine? So if you guys were to buy the Swim Treks, we sell it in 3 different sizes. So the deal with the Swim Treks is it's got kind of a keel style body to it. It cuts the water really well. This is a lipless that does not vibrate a lot. This one right here is really good early spring, late in the fall, during the shad die-off. This bait right here, when you're retrieving it, you kill it, it'll swim its way all the way down to the bottom. There's a ton of video guys out there, and you guys can go back and watch to kind of see what we're talking about. So that's 2 times a year, I would say the Swim Trex, the regular one really shines. Now the second one is also called the Swim Trex, but this is the Swim Trex Max.
And I think just to point out to them, if you look at it in the packet, like side profile,
Correct.
they're nearly the same. So that's why we kind of, we went with the Swim Trex. They are essentially the same, side profile, but they've been designed, when you look at them front on, then they're designed to do, very different things. So yeah.
Yeah, so jumping into the Max. So the Max, like we were just talking about, the body's different. A little more slender up top, a little bit thicker on the bottom. This bait is designed to grab the water. This one's going to give you max vibration. We also took the line tie versus the regular Swim Trex. The line tie itself is backed up on the bait. So normally your lipless style baits run about like this because your toe point is really forward, so it's going to pull this way. Now the toe point on this one is backed up, so this is going to pull the bait more this way, and it's going to give you a lot more pulling power against you, which essentially gives you a lot more vibration. Also, one key feature of these 2 baits, they have a patented auto-tune technology system. I'll let Damon tell you guys about auto-tune.
Yeah, well, the auto-tune came from our offshore saltwater trolling baits, and there's a lot behind it, but essentially what it does on these is it gives freedom of movement. So it was designed to be a self-centering tow system on deep offshore trolling baits. What we found is that if you, actually by trial and error, if you don't get the details right on the width of the channel and the metal plate and all that sort of stuff, it actually gives the lure a little bit too much movement, and it doesn't track straight. So that obviously got me thinking, hey, there's some places you could use that. That'd be good for situations where you want the bait to have more movement. So what it does in these lipless baits is it essentially on the Swim Trex, it allows it that freedom to actually swim when it's sinking, the auto-tune plus the shape of the body. And on the Max, it, again, the body shape, but it's that auto-tune system that actually allows the maximum vibration. And I mean, you'll feel that. The cool thing with that Max is you put that in the water, you cast it, 3 winds on the handle, and you can feel it. I mean, you're probably better to explain, the difference between that, and you've obviously fished just about every lipless bait out there.
Yeah, so for me, the Max really shines basically early spring. A lot of times in early spring, you're faced with a ton of different weather conditions, which rain is one of the biggest ones. Dirty water, you need them bass to find the bait in the water because of vibration, lateral line on a largemouth. They're going to find this bait. This thing truly thumps extremely hard. Now the third one on the trio is called the Vertrex. Now the Vertrex, we also sell in a few different sizes, but on this one we go a lot heavier on one.
Yeah.
We go to 1 ounce and a third is the heaviest.
Yeah.
Unless you want the saltwater, which I don't know how high that
Yeah, they get up to 3.5 ounces in there, but for the freshwater versions, like I say, that heavy one's it's pretty big, it's pretty heavy. I'm not sure where you're using that one, but it's
So looking at it, you can see the tail is obviously different, but the biggest part here, this is a rubber body.
Yep. TPE it's called, so it's a really it's a really high stretch. You can you can kind of grab the tail and you can stretch these things out, and it doesn't break. So essentially, it's an extremely durable plastic. The one little tip there is you do need to keep them separate from your other plastics, or they if they mix with other kind of PVC plastics, they will kind of melt together and whatever. But if you store them just with normal hard baits and other Vertrex TPE baits, no problem. Just keep that one in mind.
That's probably the next question was storage, obviously durability. Durability is second to none.
Yeah.
You're not going to rip it.
No.
This one does not have.
It doesn't have the auto-tune
technology.
No.
But this one actually thumps really well too.
It does. It's got a lot of vibration. The way I sort of look at that one is it's between the other two. So it's more vibration than the standard Swim Trex, and not as much vibration as the Swim Trex Max. So to me, it's kind of in my mind, it's like the soft and silent deal.
Yeah. So this one gives you actually a lot more options, believe it or not, because the other two are really more specific. One vibrates a lot, one swims in the fall.
Yep.
This one does give you a little bit of the swimming action on the way down if you kill it.
Yep.
But this one can be fished in shallow water. This one can be fished in deep water because, like I said, you go higher in the weights.
Yep.
You can really get this thing down to the bottom. If you're a ledge guy, you're a guy that's fishing a lot of structure offshore, you might want to think about using the Vertrex because, man, it'll get out there and get them fish away. And they've never seen it before, which is the craziest best part.
Yeah.
Because nowadays, man, it's hard to have something different.
It is. Well, actually, speaking of something different, good little segue to the Dartwing. We got told we need to talk about this one. So,
So this is unique. So I saw this the very first time. It's been, you had this in saltwater, right?
yeah, we did. We had that in saltwater, and I think the first time I ever talked to you, I'm like, hey, we're doing a Dartwing. I want to do a freshwater version. I'm going to change the floating action, all that sort of stuff, but make it a little bit smaller. So we didn't have that size in saltwater, so we made that one specifically for freshwater.
Okay, so let's start from the cast. So we have a weighted belly weight.
Yeah.
So this thing actually cuts the air and casts.
It bombs. Like it's a distance casting bait. It's been designed to cover water and really get maximum casting distance.
Guys, so with the top water, you probably use spook style baits, you use chugging style baits. This bait actually does 3 different things all in one.
Yep.
So this bait will give you the walking style because of the body design. The front of it will give you the actual chugging. It's got a chugging mouth on it. But the real unique part about this bait that's really different, the dart wings, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
The dart wings itself. So I'm walking, I'm chugging, but now I'm spitting also. If you got so much commotion, if you work this bait hard, you can really make this thing throw water, or you can slow it down a little bit and kind of finesse it a little bit.
You can. It's a really cool finesse sort of walk the dog down. And like I say, you've explained, that's why I love it. I love these baits that you can fish, different ways, do different things with, one cast, do something, try something different, and try and find out what are the fish, keyed in on that day.
Yep.
It's it's a really fun bait to use.
Yeah, so if you guys like any of these baits you've seen, you guys can just go on
nomadtackle.com.
Okay.
So go check it out, and we appreciate you guys watching, and thanks for the support.
Thank you guys.
Excellent.
So some of the baits that they did not talk about, I can't remember. I got to go back and look at the video, but some of the stuff I'm gonna hit on again. But the first and foremost, the one that I want to talk about, which is going to be in the summertime. Right now, there's 2. You have the Dartwing, and you have the Chug Norris. Now, these 2 top water baits, I am very excited about. Now, the Chug Norris is basically a popper, but it spits out a good bit of more water than a normal popper does. The Dartwing is a walking style bait. It might be good in the fall, I do not know. But I've seen this thing in action, and buddy, does it work in action. I kid you not. It darts, it spits. It actually come out of the water if you work it like you should. It actually will do that. Sorry for the lawnmower, OG is getting things ready to go over to, cut grass somewhere. But it does. It spits, it walks, it jumps out of the water, it gets bass going crazy. And like I said, the Chug Norris, standard bait, standard popper, but it just spits out a whole lot of more water. Now, here's a cool thing. Get out, Finn. Finn, get out. Here's a cool thing that I learned that they actually came out with, and they kind of got this idea from saltwater fishing, which is they have a new style of jerkbait. This is called the Maverick. I had it upside down. I'm sorry. This is called the Maverick 90. The Maverick 90. And if you're fishing submerged grass, submerged vegetation, and a standard hard bait jerkbait is not the deal to go, because it dives either too deep, your trebles will get hooked up and caught up in the vegetation. Well, they solved, they solved the problem. This thing will only dive really about 3 to 5 feet, if that. But the action that it does, it darts really well. It rolls, in its dart, and it puts out a lot of flash. I cannot wait to try this in the fall. They gave me 2 different colors to try. The next thing that I'm excited about, the Nomad kind of got me excited about a few good things, is everybody's seen a lipless crank. Everybody has. Everybody knows what they are. But have you ever seen a lipless crank that has a soft plastic body to it? And there you go. New to the market, this is, well, I had it upside down. This is the Veteranbassin 75, and the Veteranbassin 95. But let me turn it over so you can see it, cause they put it in upside down. Now, just like a standard crankbait, you know what I'm saying, like a lipless crank, you can yo-yo it, you can speed crank it, you can do all of that. The only difference of it is that it has a little bit more action in the tail because it's a soft plastic. That is the only difference. And I cannot wait to give those a try. I'm waiting on the fall to work the Maverick and the Vertrex. I'm waiting on those two. Now, I will be doing a video on the Chuck Norris and the Darkwing here because summertime, top water time. But hey, those what I seen at ICAST that I was personally excited about and that caught my attention. If you have any questions about any of these baits, feel free to ask. I'm sorry. I'm a little excited about the baits. But if you like the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And I'll see you guys out there on the water.